And once again, welcome to geekepisodes.com. In this video, I'll show you how to create an SSIS package. After watching this video, you should be able to understand how to create an SSIS project and also different tabs in SSIS packages and its uses. So here I have opened the BIDS, that is Business Intelligence Development Studio, using Visual Studio 2008. To create a new SSIS package, all you need to do is click on File, New, and a project. This will create a new project when you are provided with options to create an SSIS project or SSIS, which is Analysis Services or Reporting Server. So I'll go ahead and create something like learning SSIS, and I'll use the folder SSIS projects, and I'll create a new directory for the solution. Click OK. There you go. A new package is created, and we have a new solution which is created for SSIS as well. So double click on this package and the package window appears. You can see here we have different folders which says data source views, SSIS packages. In case of reporting services and analysis server projects, we use this to a very great extent, but in SSIS these two folders are not necessarily be used, but if you want to use it, yes, that's an option. uh, Inside a package you can see there are 4 tabs. Alright, this is a control flow tab which contains different varieties of tools inside the toolbox. These are also known as containers and the tasks. Using this task you can perform different operations. For example, if you consider execute SQL task, this is used to execute any SQL operations on a SQL server. And you have similarly file system task, which is used to do something like copying files, deleting files, renaming files, etc. Analysis services processing tasks, bulk insert task, which is again a bulk insert into a bulk insert task, which is used to copy data from a file into a SQL server, and data flow task, which is the most important, I would say, which is the most commonly and most important task among everything in the control flow. And you can see for this particular task you also have a tab here which can be used to design the data flow. uh, Going to the data flow task, this is considered to be one of the most important tasks. As I said earlier, this is where you will design your ETL and the data flow, wherein you pull data from different sources into different destinations. And of course, while the data is being moved from the source to destination, you can do a lot of transformations on that. For example, you can convert the data types of a column. You can create new derived columns, which is again like a calculated columns. And you have various other things like joins, aggregates, things like this, which you can perform on the data. And then you have the event handlers tab. This is where you define various events or various things that needs to be performed when a particular event occurs on a package, or on a task. For example, on error of a task you can do something, and on in case of a, for example, on task failed, do something else, on warning, do something else. And in this case I just have a package, whereas if you create various other executables, which are the tasks and the data flow items, you can create different event handlers for each of them. And package explorer is, of course, will demonstrate, which show you what are the different objects which are available in the package. And you might have already noticed one more important area in the screen, which is the connection managers. Here is a place where you define different types of connections. For example, you can create OLEDB connections, flat file connections, ADO.NET, and various other, depending on the type of task which you're using and depending on the type of transformations that you're using inside the DFT. In this video, I'll also show you a sample task which can be used in a control flow, uh, which is again a very commonly used task, which is it is the execute SQL task. All you need to do is drag and drop the task here to the control flow panel. Double click on this. I'll create a new connection, new, and give the server name as localhost or based on the server name that you use, and use the type of authentication that you require, depending on whether it's with Windows authentication or SQL Server authentication. Right now, I'll go with Windows authentication, and I have a database which is SSIS projects test connection. It says the connection is successful, and you can connect to the database. Okay, so I have defined a project, and now I have defined a connection string. So now I can define a query here. I'll do a basic query, something like a create table. This is just for the demonstration purpose. Don't use create table in, ideally do not use create table in execute SQL task unless and until it's really required. Test table, column 1, bracket 10. Alright, this should create a sample table in my database. What I'll do is say Control S and then execute this package. There you go, the package is successful. So red indicates it's a failure. You might have seen amber, which is yellow in color, indicates that it's being processed, and green indicates the task was completed successfully. I'll go ahead and stop debugging. Now if I use my SQL Server, right now I do not have any tables. If I do a refresh, I should be able to see this. Column 1, there you go, column 1 with bracket of 10. So this is one of the simple tasks which is used, which is very commonly used as execute SQL tasks. In the future videos, I'll show you again a lot of other tasks which are on the left hand side, and I'll show you how to use each of these tasks, and I'll take you across different transformations and sources in DFTs, and I'll take you across event handlers, and of course various other configurations inside the package, and I'll show you how to make each and every package dynamic. So keep